Good evening. Chris Lee and Chase Robinson, the Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel here. We got SEC football to talk about. This is our only recap show of the day, so we'll talk about everybody. We've got some big games today, as is always the case. Texas A&M goes into Columbia, Missouri, wins 38-17. Vanderbilt in a game that I was at in the press box, a 45-38 winner over Auburn in overtime. Georgia beats Mississippi State 41-21, just kind of dominated that game. LSU at Bama, still going as we speak, so we'll probably hit that one last. We got Kentucky, a 38-10 winner over Florida, and Ole Miss, I think, a 49-0 winner over the Citadel in just kind of a tune-up game. Anyway, before we get started, reminder, we are brought to you by our friends at Game Time Sidekicks, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. You can see the lovely water tumbler that I drink from every day. They offer officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. You got all kinds of stuff going on over there. You got stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, shaker cups. SE16 gets you 20% off the whole order that you place over there at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Chase Robinson, interesting day of SEC football, interesting day of football nationally. We still got some games of national interest that will affect the playoff picture, I think, in the SEC, namely Louisville and Cal, I think, more to the wire to speak. Your thoughts on the day? What stood out?
It was some surprises. Some good football. Really, I was interested to see how the two teams with interim coaches in their first game with the interim coach looked. And so we got to see that. I was interested to see if Missouri could challenge A&M. A&M looked great. I know we'll get to all these games, but really great day of football in the SEC. And yeah, like you mentioned, some games outside of the SEC that I think certainly will affect the SEC and the playoffs and how that looks moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. I think A&M highlight of the day. I mean, you had some teams really play well on the road. Some of them won, some of them did not. But I thought A&M, I thought that was going to be a better game than people expected. I just thought the way Matt Zollers threw the ball, when I saw him in Nashville a couple of weeks ago, I thought, hey, they've got a chance to challenge A&M, but maybe a couple of weeks to game plan. I think you heard the A&M staff was going back and looking at high school film on him. All kinds of stuff like that. I think the moment was just too big. Didn't see much of that. It sounded like the line didn't protect him very well. And A&M just keeps on that offense, man. The playmakers, the rushing game was really clicking today. They don't really make a ton of mistakes. The Aggies are just in a week, in a year of college football where consistency is hard to come by on both sides of the ball. I just feel like A&M is nailing it just about every week.
They are, and that's why they're winning games. That's why they're doing what they're doing because they're consistent. And we're not really seeing that from a lot of teams, and so that's what makes them stand out. That's what makes them special. They're elite, and this is a team we're going to be watching playing for. They've got a lot of games left this season. I'll just put it that way. They're A&M. The way their team is, and again, their consistency helps. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. I really like this team. This is a championship type team to me that Mike Elko has.
By the way, I'm trying to get some games up on the screen in front of me as we go. I guess Louisville is gone down. That's a big development in college football. I think if you're the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC, you're really, really happy for that. I thought it was going to be hard for the ACC to get multiple ones in anyway. But, hey, some Aggie fans here in the chat. See, we got Justin Bullock, Aggies fan here. This LSU-Bama game, really poorly officiated. LSU being robbed out here badly. But that's the talk of every week in college football officiating. Probably will be some stuff talked about Monday, too. Dealing with Dylan feels like the next 3 weeks sets up nicely for Kentucky. Hey, Kentucky right now, I don't know if you want to play those guys. They are not the most talented bunch, but they are bought in for Mark Stoops, who feels like he has kind of avoided the firing that a lot of people thought was coming, and I think rightfully so. But yeah, anything else? Marcel Reed, I mean, just continues to excel every week.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of talk of quarterbacks. You got Ty Simpson is a guy, Heisman contention. You got Gunnar Stockton at Georgia. You got Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt. Reed, and I know that he's got some real help around him. When you got guys like Concepcion and Craver that make spectacular plays, maybe that takes a little bit of, let's say, taking shine off his play, but that's certainly helps you.
Yeah.
But it might be time we start talking about him in that Player of the Year discussion too.
No, yeah, and by all indications, a great leader for this team as well, which you can see watching them play. But yeah, he's got great playmakers around him, and when you mix a good quarterback with playmakers, I mean, this is what you get. So it's the roster that they assembled has really helped Reed with the people that they put around him.
Yeah, and the numbers today, accuracy again has been kind of the thing. He's 20 of 29 for 221. Doesn't do much on the ground today, but passing, he's 2 touchdowns, no picks, doesn't turn it over. Ruben Owens goes over 100 and 2 touchdowns today. Concepcion had a big score, and they just kind of, again, they just do everything. Total offense today, they're 484 to 284. They won turnovers 2-1, and then it converted a fake punt. They didn't let Zollers get comfortable. Hardy had his 100 yards. Just didn't matter. I just think that's I know Missouri with 2 losses and kind of a weird schedule. People may circle and say, hey, they were never that good. I don't believe that. I think they're a legitimate top 25 team, even though they're probably not going to be there next week. To go in and put 484 on that defense was, I thought, very, very, I don't think it's underrated. I think people know what they are, but I mean, that was kind of an exclamation point on the win to go there and dominate the stat sheet the way they did.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And that there's something to be said for that, for sure, especially from what we've seen this season.
Let's go next to Vandy Auburn. I was at that. I'd said I thought this was a sneaky spot where it was a weird game. There might be more offense given Vanderbilt's defensive struggles lately, given Hugh Freeze was leaving the program or dismissed from the program. And you were going to have offensive coordinator duties and play calling duties be reassigned. Now, look, I didn't think a day where you have a defensive head coach take over the team, Auburn's defense was going to stink and its offense was going to be almost 600 yards. But that's the game we saw. I knew it would be weird. Didn't know it would be that weird. I think the story here again, Diego Pavia was just unbelievable for Vanderbilt. And it wasn't just the stat line. It was the plays he made was just an incredible leader for them today on a day where their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, well, it was one of those situations where they were behind, they had to make plays, and I feel like those are the moments that Diego Pavia can thrive in if given the opportunity. And Auburn's defense gave him the opportunity to get some big plays, to give momentum. Momentum is so big in this game, and I feel like at certain times, big play from Pavia, Vandy was able to get some momentum back and get some good things going. Really interesting game of kind of how it went. And I mean, that's a solid win for Vanderbilt, because and we see this a lot with interim coaches step in, teams kind of get a new life to them, a new identity to them, different play caller in this situation. There's not multiple play callers, and like we feel like there has been for Auburn. So they went in with a different game plan, and so you thought they may have some life, and they did at moments, but Vanderbilt was able to do enough to shut them down, and that was a good win for Diego Pavia and Vandy today.
Yeah, the numbers today for Pavia were just incredible. 31 of 44, 353, 2 touchdowns, no picks, ran it 18 times for $112 and a score. Eli Stowers was great again, 12 for 22, no scores. Probably, I guess, certainly in the running to be a first-team All-American tight end. They got Trey Richardson going. Didn't hurt that Auburn left him wide open on a 57-yard score, but he goes 3 for $124. For Auburn, we'd said, hey, look, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Auburn has a really good offensive performance or better than they've been. No, I didn't think Auburn was going to go for 563 total offense today. But Ashton Daniels, 31 of 44, 353, 2-0, 18 for 89 and 2 scores. Like he was almost the exact carbon copy of Diego Pavia on the other sideline. You'd hem him in and he'd run for a first down. They got Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton going today. Coleman has 143, Singleton 101. Cam Coleman had maybe the play of the college football season. Did you see that touchdown grab he had in the end zone?
I did. Yeah.
That was ridiculous. And I'm watching that, I think, through my binoculars, and I'm watching the replay. I'm like, how did he catch that? I thought the ball had to have hit the ground based on, he had maybe a 6-inch window to make that play and a ball thrown from probably 40 yards away in the air.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. He was covered as well as you can cover somebody, and he just kind of reached to the side and one-handed it. And not just one-handed it, he controlled it going to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And, and sometimes, Donovan in the chat now talking about Ashton Daniels, 450 total yards, 4 touchdowns. I think this shows that sometimes it's good to have a different voice. And it was the voice they have been hearing offensively was Hugh Freeze. And sometimes, and obviously that wasn't working offensively. And so a new voice, and we saw some life from this Auburn offense today, which is really good. And so, sometimes it just takes a new voice, a fresh perspective, and they're getting that now. And I think that's really good for Ashton Daniels and the quarterbacks there at Auburn to have that fresh voice. And you could tell they play a little more free. And that's kind of what I was looking for today from Auburn.
Yeah. I think if you're Ashton Daniels, first of all, you got a lot of confidence. I guess they got 2 games left to play. They can play spoiler for, for Alabama coming up here in a few weeks, which I'm sure they'll want to do. And now you got an offense that can move the ball. So you got that going. But, the defense giving up 544 yards today, I think is what it was. I didn't see that one coming in a million years.
Yeah.
If you tell Auburn you're going to have 560 yards, you're going to have a back go for 100, you're going to have 2 receivers go over 100, you have a quarterback rush for nearly 100, you're going to win turnovers 1-0, and you lose the game. I would say if I tell you those stats, I'm like, there's a less than 1% chance that Auburn loses that game.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And, it's and maybe the week that DJ Durkin had of taking over as head coach and having to do some more duties and call defensive plays, maybe his game plan was not the way he liked it. I don't know. But yeah, that is not what I was expecting from Auburn today.
And to be fair for their you can plan everything for Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
And he can wreck it with one turn of the hips. He's out there outrunning NFL front 7 guys, with angles and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I think if you're Vanderbilt, the theme is just survive and advance. You're looking at some other playoff teams. Indiana was that close to going down today. I think Indiana would have made the playoffs anyway, but that happens right before you kick off. You look in the ACC tonight, you see Louisville lose. I think that was in Louisville too, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I think it may have been, yeah.
Yeah, so you got a West Coast team coming all the way across there, and I think Virginia, that was in Louisville, and Virginia was at home. So 2 home teams in the ACC that were ranked higher than you both lost. So I think if you're Vanderbilt, I mean, look, you care about how it happened because you're going to have to go fix that in the bye week.
Yeah.
But you leave the day going, hey, we got a bye week now. We'll get healthier. We'll regroup on defense, and we won the game. I think you win that game by 1 point, you're happy, and they did.
Oh, yeah. And they just needed to win that game, and they found a way to do that, and again, kind of kept themselves alive, which is what they wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one I'm going to go to here, Georgia 41, Mississippi State 21. Mississippi State scores on the first drive of the day. Camario Taylor comes in, gets a short TD run after Blake Shapen got them down the field. Taylor today, 6 of 10, 87 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, ran 12 times for 53 and 3 scores. The final score was closer than the game was. Georgia, after that first touchdown, gets 34, 38 in a row. There was an exchange of turnovers there that was key. Total offense, Georgia goes 567 to 322 for State. Gunnar Stockton was just the usual Gunnar Stockton, almost didn't miss anything. 3 touchdowns, no picks. And Nate Frazier was just a wrecking crew today. 12 rushes, 181, 15.1, and a touchdown. Feels like Georgia really rounding into form down the stretch here.
Yeah, and we talked about this game last week. Could this be a sneaky game for Georgia the way Mississippi State's been playing? But Georgia didn't let that happen. Like they did what they needed to do. They took care of business. Again, Mississippi State has been in besides the A&M game, they've been in every game that they've played. Like this is a team that has challenged some folks, and Georgia didn't let that happen. They did their job. They took care of business. So that was a good win for Georgia to me because, again, Mississippi State was a team that can sneak up on you.
Yeah. Mississippi State, I don't know what your quarterback situation is. They alternated guys today. Looks like Camario Taylor is kind of I don't know if the red zone guy is the thing, but certainly the guy that ignites some stuff there. Shapen was kind of mediocre today, and the defense finally, I think, is springing enough leaks there where the offense, I just don't think can outrun that at the moment.
Yeah, and that's the problem if they're going to keep running into, and just being able to maintain that all season is going to be the tough thing for Mississippi State.
Depth probably taking a hit there. Georgia, I think the run the ball aspect, and they're just so balanced right now.
Yeah, they are.
I remember thinking the Tennessee game, right? They weren't great running the ball the whole day, but they got those big yards when they need it. We've talked about how good of a second half team they are. I think that's just because they lean on you and just kind of wear you out by the end of the game. Not great last week. Florida came to play, and they didn't rush the ball so well. But today they opened it up. Defensively, I think to hold State down to those numbers, again, I thought 21 points was kind of misleading because I think some of those came kind of late. Georgia's got, we're looking at Texas. I think a Division II, or excuse me, 1AA. Can't remember who that is. And then Georgia Tech to end it in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's
Charlotte's the team. Excuse me. That's
okay.
like it. That's like an FCS team. They're that bad.
Yeah, man, that Texas game is going to be that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, I think being in Georgia probably really going to help the Bulldogs, but we'll see.
Yeah, and that Georgia
that'll
Tech
be game of the week.
That'll be interesting too.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, by the way, I had to love what happened in the ACC today. Because that made its shot at getting there. So did Miami, by the way, I would think. But anyway, anything else from Georgia, Mississippi State here?
I don't think so.
All right, we've got. Let's see. We got LSU, Bama just ended. We got Kentucky, Florida. We'll probably do that one next, and then we'll do Ole Miss and the Citadel, which is kind of a laugher and a tune-up game. Before we get there, just a reminder to help out those who help our show. That includes our friends at Yearly Company, Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition, designed for meaning, each piece handcrafted from solid 14-karat gold, natural gemstones, made to measure for a perfect fit. backed by a lifetime guarantee. Every yearly company bangle is custom size, so knowing your size is the most important first step before ordering. That's where the sizing kit comes in. Code SE16KIT gets you 100% off your sizing kit at checkout. Get ahead of the Christmas rush. It is going to be here before you know it. Order stuff for your significant other at Yearly Company. Thank us for that later. Also, you thank me for this. Rockform. They make the world's strongest magnetic phone case. Extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock secure mounting. SEC 25 gets you 25% off your entire order at rockform.com. Get the phone case and the vent clip, and you can thank me for that later. Okay, Chase, next one up on the list, Florida just shellacked at Kentucky, 38-10. It was 31-7 at half. Kentucky 401 to 247 in total offense. Weird stat here. Both teams had 4 turnovers. There was an amazing flurry of turnovers for both teams at the end of the first half that just they seemed to kind of negate each other. Cutter Boley again, the stat line not great. 18-23, 168, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. They get Dante Dowdell for 104, Seth McGowan for 92. So running the ball against Florida was a key. Florida, man, I don't know what to think of these guys. Just when you think they are playing, maybe about to play up to Florida capability, everybody blamed everything on Billy Napier. DJ Lagway was awful tonight. 1 touchdown, 3 picks, 83 yards. Kentucky staying in the fight with some interesting games ahead.
Yeah, this one was not what I was expecting. DJ Lagway getting benched, just uninspired. The way Florida played today, and obviously under an interim head coach, don't know what the deal is with the team as far as the response to that, but just uninspired. That's not what at all we were expecting from Florida this year. And looked like, they I want to say they've just totally waved the white flag on the season, but that was pointing in that direction. It did not look good.
I mean, you wondered if last week just took the wind out of their sails. They played Georgia close. They had a shot, couldn't finish it. And that was, Jay called it. I give Jay Greason a lot of credit. I thought Florida might go up there and kind of have its way with Kentucky just based on talent. Jay said, hey, they lost a close one last week, and now they're going to play Kentucky at night in the cold. Game, timing matters, and I think it mattered a lot for both these teams tonight.
No, it most certainly did. And it's hard to even put your finger on what it is, but it's been just a bizarre year for Florida. I mean, it's been like a roller coaster, man. It's been up and down and inconsistent. What we saw at the end of last year has not translated to what I thought we would see this year.
Yeah. 3-9 is on the table for Florida. Ole Miss on the road, Tennessee at home, Florida State at home.
Yeah. But like I just said, it's been a roller coaster. So
yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if they somehow put it together and win one of those games. I don't know. But that's just kind of the year it's been for Florida.
Yeah, and Texas is going to look back, and when they go before the committee, a loss to a 3-9 Florida doesn't help your case a lot if that's the way it ends up. I'm not saying it is, but Kentucky, hey, look, you're 4-5 now. You got Tennessee Tech next week. I think Tech is unbeaten in the FCS, or it was coming into the week. I don't know how it did today. Vanderbilt on the road. You're going to be a double-digit underdog, but if Vanderbilt can't get the defense together, you're going to have a shot there. And then Louisville, which is, vulnerable after losing at home to Cal. So, hey, give those guys credit. It's not pretty that, you don't look at the Wildcats and just, nothing jumps off the page, but finding a freshman quarterback who's leading to all these wins, that's something that really, really, when you go into the spring, you like where you are just because of that alone.
No, yeah, you certainly do. Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, let's go. Before we go to LSU, Alabama, let's put a bow on Ole Miss. Didn't get to see any of that one. Kind of surprised that Trinidad Chambliss threw for 333 today. Thought you would have seen more backups there. Ole Miss, I think, was up in that one, 35-0 at half.
Yeah.
Citadel's a triple option team. I think they're 4-6, so not a great team. Ole Miss kind of did exactly what you thought Ole Miss would do. A bunch of guys catching balls. Keywan Lacey, 3 touchdowns, but just 49 yards. I mean, Ole Miss just needed to show up and take care of business. That's kind of what it did.
That's what they had to do. That's what they showed up to the game for. And I mean, they took care of business like they should have in this game. And you saw Chambliss 333, Austin Simmons with 100 yards, AJ Maddox got some time. So saw 3 quarterbacks, and you go out and get the job done. And Ole Miss is going to try to get a little momentum, put the pedal to the metal, and finish out this season strong.
Yeah, I think the thing for Ole Miss, that the defense just has been, I'd say, solid lately. You're playing a triple option team. You give up 2 yards a carry today. You get a shutout. I mean, that's one where if you don't come in focused,
right.
An opponent like that can put up 20-something points on you and maybe make it interesting for a half. That was kind of Ole Miss's challenge. Don't let that happen, and it didn't. I mean, see, Ole Miss last week allowed 3.7 yards of play to South Carolina. I just think they're kind of Texas A&M light. They do a lot of stuff well. Feels like they're getting better. There's nothing just to point your finger at with them and say they're awful here. Defense has lacked a little bit at times against good opponents, but I like the way it's trending.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think they're in a good place right now. I really do.
Yeah. The last one we have not talked to, we'll hit on some national games of significance in just a minute. That is LSU at Alabama, which wasn't very exciting. Alabama got, I think, what was a missed field goal right before the half and stuck in a touchdown to make that. Was it 17-3 at the half? I mean, that kind of was the point where you're like, okay, Alabama's got a double-digit lead, and with the inconsistency that LSU's offense has shown at home with its ability to control game and control clock, felt like it was over. Bama made it interesting with the Simpson turnover. LSU changed quarterbacks. We'll talk about that in a minute, but just kind of a business-like game for Alabama. We didn't have to do a lot in the second half just because of that lead.
Yeah, I thought the defense played well for Alabama today. I feel like that's been side of the ball that's really had to get better as the season's gone on. They've been faced with multiple different things this season, and so I thought the defense looked good tonight. The offense was good at times. Saw Ty Simpson make some fantastic plays, and then you saw him make some overthrow some balls, not drop them in like he normally does. I feel like it wasn't the best offensive performance from Alabama. And I kind of think back to South Carolina game, and it was kind of that same thing. They weren't really in a rhythm like we've seen them in other games, but they got the win. They did what it takes to get the win. So, and it was a good win for Alabama over LSU. So Alabama's got Oklahoma coming in next week, which will be interesting. The offense, though, they've got to start clicking again, and I feel like they make the plays they need to. But this is an Alabama offense who's got to get back going to what we saw earlier in the season. I feel like.
I think for Alabama, my concern is they just can't get that running game going again.
Yeah,
I wonder how healthy Jam Miller is. Yeah, I mean, they went on a little midseason run. We're like, okay, it's coming. Miller's running well, and then he got hurt, and they just have not been able to get that back.
No, they haven't, and that's something that, like, they're able to win these games right now with the way Ty Simpson can throw the ball. but the more football that is played and the deeper they get into the season, you can't just rely on throwing the ball up. Like, you've got to be able to run, and if they can't run the football, I don't know how long they're going to be in the playoff. If they keep winning to get there, like, you have to be a multidimensional team to go against some of these good teams that they're going to have to. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with Alabama. They're a great roster. It's a really good team, but offensively, like, you can't just rely on your great receivers. Like, there has to be a mix of something in there. They've got to be able to run the ball. And I think that's definitely where Alabama needs to improve.
Yeah, Alabama's just kind of do what it needs to do to win games.
Yeah.
Not flashy, not spectacular, but just enough. And again, a lot of that's Ty Simpson. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Did make one tonight, but the defense was good enough they didn't pay for it. Now, LSU, my goodness. Where do we start with them? We don't have a president. We're firing a football coach. We need to fire our AD. We will fire our AD, according to the governor. They do fire their AD. They bring in a new AD. No, just kidding. Maybe not. And then Garrett Nussmeier gets benched middle of the second half, which wasn't hard to see coming, but the hits he keeps taking. I don't know, man. I don't know that a lot of guys have seen their stock tank as much as Nussmeier's has. I don't know that that's all his fault, but them going with Michael Van Buren late in that game and getting maybe a little spark for just a bit. And Van Buren can run it, which God knows they need somebody who can escape a pass rush right now.
Yeah.
LSU has got coming up Arkansas at home. Somebody's got to win that one. It'll be them. Western Kentucky at home, and then Oklahoma. A chance to play spoiler, but, man, you don't have any more off weeks, and you got to get some stuff together.
Yeah, they do. And I was listening to Frank Wilson's press conference earlier in the week, just to kind of get a feel for kind of what he was thinking about this offense. And somebody asked him, like, is Nussmeier your starting quarterback? And he said yes, but this is a new era, the last part of the season for LSU. And so I was curious of what it would take for us to see Van Buren, and I thought that was a good move for them to try to get something going. Again, you don't want to be in a spot for LSU in this last section of the season to just quit like we see with other teams. So I thought that was good to go with Van Buren to try to get them going. And yeah, he gave a little spark, and now you're going to have, maybe a little competition between Van Buren and Nussmeier, and maybe that'll help him, improve the last part of the season. But it's just I thought LSU's defense looked good tonight, but yeah, their offense is they need to play more inspired, I think, and that's not what we saw tonight from LSU offensively.
Yeah, Alabama, it's not an easy path going forward. Oklahoma at home next week. You got the basic bye week with Eastern Illinois, and then you end with Auburn in the Plains in a game that got – I mean, look, Oklahoma and Auburn games both got a lot more interesting the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama – you go and give them Eastern Illinois, and I think I like their chances to take 1 out of 2, but especially with 2 of their 3 games being at home, one again being the give me one. But I don't know. It's I'm not saying I'm nervous if I'm Alabama, but you better be sharp when you come out in those games.
Yeah, and look, the Oklahoma game, and I know we'll spend a lot of time this week previewing this one. They're coming off a bye week and have a great defense. And the way we've been seeing this Alabama offense, and like we were just talking about being one-dimensional, that could be a problem against the defense of Oklahoma.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think that could be that has every bit the makings of a 17-14 type game.
Oh yeah.
Let's hit the national stage quickly. Just some stuff that was of significance today. Virginia losing to Wake Forest at home. Louisville losing to, who was it? Cal at home. I think that knocks probably both them out of the playoffs, barring a ACC championship scenario. Miami's the team sitting there going, "Thank God." Maybe that gets us back in. I don't know what Miami's path is to ACC championship game if it exists. Miami clobbered Syracuse today, which was predictable. But anyway, ACC probably did more harm than good to itself. I think if you're SEC, you wanted to see Texas Tech hammer BYU. I think Texas Tech is a playoff caliber team and roster. I'm
Yeah.
not so sure about BYU. I think that's exactly the result you wanted to see if you were the
Yeah.
SEC or any other conference.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, that's what you wanted to see, and that's what you got.
Yeah. In the Big Ten was a mixed bag today. Indiana was that close to losing to Penn State. Kid made a fantastic catch in the back of the end zone. In fact, I was going to Vandy Auburn, park in my car, and listen to the radio. I thought the way the commentators were talking, Penn State had a really good shot to run out the clock at the end. Indiana got possession back and did enough, got that score with a few seconds left. So I don't know that affected things greatly, because I think Indiana was going to go to the playoff anyway. But, if you're somebody else, if you're Georgia, Alabama, A&M fighting for seeding, you would have liked to have seen that one happen.
Yeah.
Ohio State beat Purdue badly. That was predictable. You wanted to see Iowa beat Oregon in Iowa. You
It
didn't
was
get
close.
that. So, yeah, field goal with 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
Probably not going to matter, but Washington took itself out of the playoff race today with a really bad loss at Wisconsin. Wisconsin was 2-6 coming in. And, I don't think Navy got affected. I think Navy's thing is going to be based on winning the American Conference. That's a non-conference loss at Notre Dame. As for Notre Dame, you just didn't want to stub your toe.
Yeah.
You got Pitt coming up. That's a losable game for them, but hammered, Navy in kind of the fashion you want to if you're trying to get into playoff.
Yeah, and Notre Dame took care of business to do what they needed to do to keep themselves in that conversation. And really interesting day around with all the close games. You mentioned Oregon and Indiana with a crazy touchdown away from winning. I think Indiana will stay at 2, but boy, I would put A&M
A&M,
over
I think I
Indiana.
would too. I'm looking at the way I've kind of come up with my own scorecard. It'll probably stay there because that win at Penn State, I mean, is good. They were still only a 14-point favorite. I mean, Penn State's still a good team with good. Well, I don't know if it's a good team. It's got some talent, is a good way to put it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you could see some flippage there. I mean, A&M's got a much better resume than Indiana, but resume is not always the overriding factor there.
Yeah, you're right. But I would switch that up.
Yeah.
If it were me.
Somebody asked welfare check on Jay. Jay's fine. I think Jay's kind of built in Auburn disappointment on Saturday. This is called the A&M LSU series the Governor's Cup now. I like that. Well done, Jay. We ready for medal stand?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go teams. I'm going to go A&M with a gold, going and winning by 21 at Missouri.
Yeah.
I guess both teams had a week off to get ready for this one. Yeah, that's correct. I just think, to put 38 on Missouri's defense was super, super impressive.
No, there's no doubt about it. I mean, they showed their elite, and I think we all thought that, but doing what they did tonight, I think really showed that this is a force to be reckoned with A&M.
Yeah. I'm going to go silver. I'm going to go Georgia, 41-21 at one win at Mississippi State. Not as close as the scoreboard indicated. Hey, look, Georgia kind of, for most of the day, for the middle part of that game, kind of look like vintage, 2022-ish Georgia. I mean, we've said this is not Kirby Smart's dominating teams, dominating team like he's had, but we did say, hey, this team's young. What was it 54% of the roster was freshmen and sophomores coming into the season? So in the back of your head, you're going, okay, if they don't kill themselves early with losses that disqualify them from bigger goals of championships and playoff berths, keep an eye on Georgia. Feels like that's right where this season is. I mean, to go in that place where everybody's having a headache. Georgia, and the state's not able to finish games, but by goodness, they're taking people to overtime.
Yeah.
I thought Georgia, especially again the way they ran the ball, receivers with the ball in their hands making big plays. Super, super impressed with Georgia today. Would not want any part of Georgia going forward.
I agree with you there. And because like we talked about earlier with this game, Mississippi State was sneaky. Like they have snuck up on a lot of teams in Georgia. They were ready. They didn't let that happen. That was solid day for the Dogs.
Bronze, I mean, you could go Vandy. I don't think so because the defense was so bad today. Ole Miss, the Citadel, kind of a non-factor to me. Could go Alabama for beating LSU, but I think it's Kentucky, man. To beat Florida 38-10, that's a series where they've had fits. Again, just super impressed with Mark Stoops and what he's done late. You going to go with me there, or are we going to go a different direction?
I'm good with that. I mean, that was big for them. I mean, now 2 straight SEC wins for Kentucky, who I wasn't sure if they were going to get one the way they looked earlier in the season. So, yeah, I'm good with that. That was big for them, and again, to do it the way they did, the way they were able to score, that was big.
Yeah, and I think if that game had been in Baton Rouge, I might have gone Alabama. But beating LSU at home, like I don't think. I mean, it was a mystery game. You've seen these interim coach things go different ways. You saw it go one way at Florida. You saw it go another way at Auburn today. It's a Pandora's box, but I'm going to go Kentucky just based on the dominance of a Florida team that when it shows up can play anybody close, as Georgia found out, as Texas found out. Player of the day, I've got a guy in mind. I'm going to see if you're with me here. Gold medal.
Diego Pavia.
Well, yeah, I think it's got to be him. I mean, he's 363 passing, 112 rushing. Auburn had one of the 3 teams in the country that hadn't given up more than 24 points today. Vanderbilt put 45 on them. And now 7 in overtime, but still, I mean, goodness, Pavia had close to 500 yards of total offense today against Auburn. Like, I think he had more offense by himself today than any team has had. And I think I don't think he's going to win the Heisman, but I think he's put himself back up at least in the edges of the conversation.
Well, doing what he did today, I mean, you got to put him up in the edges of that conversation. I don't think he's going to win it, but I think he'll be talked about because of he was able to do what he did today.
Yeah. Silver and bronze, you got a ton of candidates. Marcel Reed throws for 221, 2 touchdowns, no picks, completes 20 of 29, rushes for 29 more. Gosh, you got a bunch of candidates in Vandy Auburn. I'll save that for just a minute. Nate Frazier, I thought was great today. 12 for $181, 15 yards a carry and a touchdown. That the big run came when it mattered. Gunnar Stockton was this right? Was he 18 of 19 today?
I think that, no, 18 to 29.
18 to 29. Okay. I mean, he and Ty Simpson every week, they just put up like the numbers don't ever vary and they do what they need to do to win games. I think he's on the table. I think Frazier's the guy I would take out of that game that I would put in consideration. I think, I mean, Trinidad Chambliss threw for 333, but it's the Citadel. Sorry, not this week. Simpson was good, but did lose a big fumble there. I think to me, I'm going to throw probably Frazier on the medal stand as a silver, and then bronze. I mean, you're looking at you could go. Gosh, who did I have in mind here? Marcel Reed for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I guess he's the guy you take. I mean, Reuben Owens, 13 for $102, 2 scores. A&M is just so balanced.
They are.
I feel like none of their skill players ever get this because they spread it around. But Reed's the guy that makes it go. They go into Missouri, do that against that kind of elite defense with so much on the line. I think Auburn, you could go Ashton Daniels, throws for 353, rushes for 89, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. Cam Coleman, 10 for $143 and a score, and the best catch you'll see this year. Eric Singleton, 11 for 102 and a score. I think Daniels or Coleman would be your guys there. You could go Eli Stallers for Vandy, 12 for $122. I'll let you make the pick here on the third guy.
I'm going to go Cam Coleman.
Okay.
Because the dude came in.
And my God, if you saw it, you get it.
Yes. I mean, that was some of these catches he makes are unreal. And they were clutch when he made those.
Unreal is overused. That literally was unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind you on that one. All right, Chase, parting thoughts on the evening.
Interesting day of football, and with the games that happened around the country, I'm interested to see what that opens up for the SEC and what it looks like Tuesday night for the conference as far as the college football playoff goes. But just an interesting day. Interesting football was played today, and another good day for the SEC.
All right, next week, here's what you've got in order of kickoff. South Carolina going to A&M. Arkansas going to LSU. Somebody has to win. Tennessee Tech going to Kentucky. Not the pushover you think it is. Tech, I think, again, was unbeaten coming into today. Oklahoma going to Alabama. Big game. New Mexico State going to Tennessee. Florida travels to Ole Miss. I think they'll have Ole Miss's attention after last year. Texas at Georgia. Mississippi State at Missouri. That'll be interesting, given where both those teams are. But, I mean, to me, the headliners, no doubt, it's Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas, Georgia.
Oh, yeah. And those are two huge monster games when it comes to the college football playoff.
I think the only thing that would make them more interesting is if you flip the home team.
Right, yeah.
In each of those. But, yeah, those are the ones we'll circle for next week. All right. I think we're out of time for tonight. Again, just one recap show today just because of the nature of everybody's schedules. I think we've got a basketball reaction. I don't know if they've already done that one or that's coming tonight. We got a ton of basketball stuff at the channel with the reactions and that sort of thing. We got predictions coming up Monday. We got power rankings coming up Monday. We got baseball interviews with head coaches coming this week. We got 4 or 5 of those scheduled. I don't know if we'll release them this week, but those are coming. Yeah, we're going to – I guess, did Justin leave a super chat? Oh, my goodness, Justin, I'm sorry. I missed that. Yeah, anyway, all those things come to the channel. Justin wants to know why the Vandy defense is so bad against bad teams. I don't know, man. They look worn down to me. I think talent's starting to catch up there. Vanderbilt may get in the playoff, but it might be the the cars running out of gas pulling into the station kind of thing. So anyway, all right, guys, thank you for watching. We'll be back at it again Monday with power rankings and reactions for basketball. I think are coming tonight if they've not already been done. Not sure the schedule there.
Did that earlier.
Oh, did they? Okay, I wondered because I think I thought maybe you had some games going on tonight, but I think you're right. And lots more of that to come. Basketball season a week underway in the SEC, and boy, it's been kind of interesting so far. All right, for Chase Robinson, I'm Chris Lee. We appreciate you guys watching. God bless you. Have a great rest of the weekend. This is Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel.